The metropolis of Gävle hosted the semi-final 4 of Melodifestivalen 2016. We now know 8 songs that will compete in the final and another 8 that will be in Andra Chansen. You guys, it's time to go around and talk about tonight's winners. First to qualify from this semi-final was Molly Sandén with Youniverse. That's Youniverse. I gotta say, I hated the snippet, and I don't like it that much more now. I think the staging really elevates what is ultimately a mediocre song. The opening shots are fantastic, when she is like submerged in smoke, standing above smoke. But as the number goes on, the camera work becomes less impressive, and towards the end, when you actually see household fans blowing things, you're like, this is kind of cheap. I don't think this is the winner of Melodifestivalen in 2016. In fact, I don't think it was the winner of this semi-final.
True. And for me, it really felt like the song of Lisa Ajax last week. And it was, I did like the song, but I didn't know Lisa. So for her, I felt like, oh, this is pretty good. I like it. And yeah, because it was an unknown artist for me. But with Molly, we expect so much. I mean, in all the betting odds, she was the favorite and everyone expected her to win this. And then just an average song like this, I mean, it is pretty good, but it's not a killer song. And there are way better songs, and especially from people we've never heard of, and they're going to beat her, I think. But I really like Molly and I really like her voice. It is so good. But this song, yeah, I like Danny Saucedo, but he can do better and she can do better.
Youniverse isn't winning Melfest in Mineverse. It's just, I think she got through because she is Molly Sandén. She didn't get through because of Youniverse. And like you said in the preview video, it's as if Danny was like, oh, I love you, girl. Please sing my song. But I'm always really suspicious when a big name singer doesn't sing a song that they've co-written on. Like Leona Lewis didn't sing her song that was in the British National Final, that didn't win the British National Final. Ella Eyre didn't sing her song that came last at Eurovision. Danny Saucedo didn't sing his song that's not going to win Melodifestivalen. It's simple as Molly Sandén is capable of much better. She elevates this song as much as she can, but even there's a lyric in it where she's like, we can do better. Yes, you can, Molly. Yes, you can.
3 words, cutting room floor. Exactly what you said, Leona, Danny, the other one. They just dropped this song on the floor and someone else picked it up. To me, it seems like it's manufactured. The whole thing is just manufactured, which is actually the transition to the next qualifier who is not manufactured, and that is Frans with If I Were Sorry. When he sang this, I really got the sense that he believed whatever he was singing. It was authentic to him, it was organic, it was simple. It wasn't technically perfect and elaborate and over the top. It was just a simple song sung by someone with an interesting voice who believed what he was singing in and felt something, and it made this amazing. This may be, I'm not convinced, but it may be my number 1 for all of Melodifestivalen. I absolutely loved it. It had the Robert Bengtzing staging quality. Simple but powerful. I can smell vomit coming from Ireland, potentially from the Netherlands.
No.
Oh, okay, just Ireland. I'm looking west here from London. I just thought this was fantastic. And he has this boyish charm, this innocence that's very appealing. I think it's going to be him versus Victoria in the final. The 2 young people, the 2 upstarts, fresh faces with very different songs. Denise.
Yeah, it felt really uncomfortable, but in a good way. It was like, okay, friends, come over here, sing your song, and do whatever you want to do. And he was like, okay, I have to sing now, and what do I have to do? I don't know, but I'll just sing my song. And like you said, I really believe in it. And there was no circus. It was just him, and I think that's what made this really good. He's not a perfect singer, absolutely not. But the way he is, well, trying to sing, or I don't know if I should call it like that, but it's really charming, and he seemed really sweet, and I don't know, it has something, and I really like it too. It isn't my favorite, But I think it is in my top 5 of this year's Melodifestivalen song. So I kind of agree with you. Yeah.
He's very good at talking to music, which is probably a skill in itself. But I tweeted on Twitter, and a good few people agreed with me. He could easily be the third member of Joe and Jake from the UK.
The shade of it all.
What? You were saying Joe and Jake were great, Justin.
No.
Now you're saying Frans is great, and now you're saying it's shade.
them, but I know what's coming from you, and you don't like them, is why there is shade involved in this. Continue.
Yeah, he could be like the third member of their band, and no one would know the difference. It's not authentic, since when do Swedish people talk with English accents? They don't.
And she said
they talk with
something-
American accents.
But she said something that he lived in England in her overview. She said, "Oh, you're all to England." So I think he must have been there at some point or studied there. Here, yes, I'm in London. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, like the thing is, it's one of these songs where I'm kind of getting passionate about it, about not liking it. But I do actually think it deserved to make it out of the semi-final. Maybe I would have rather have seen it in the semi-final and my dollies get to the final, but that's another matter for later on in the video. But he's going to be crucified by the international juries. There's no point pretending otherwise.
I'm not convinced he'll be crucified. I think that, and you've made this point before, with all these technically perfect songs in the final that are pow, wow, bow, he's gonna stand out when it's just black with the word dance in gold. I think that I think it'll come down to running order ultimately and what Christer Bjorkman wants to go to Eurovision, but there's a lot of people behind Frans because of that Zlatan Abramovich video he did when he was a child. People know him, people remember him, people want him to do well, so I think there's a lot more going on here than just the song, which will play in his favor. In any event, let's move on to Andra Chansen. I'm sure I said that wrong, forgive me. Dolly Style have made it to Andra Chansen. Thomas Gieson was behind them. At times, I thought he was the fourth member of the group with that long hair. This was really fun. I hated the preview clip, but this had energy. It was so colorful. It was like a cotton candy factory exploded. They had on skirts that were reflective, like solar panels, and they even rode a roller coaster on the LED. This was a lot of fun. Is this quality? No, it's cheap. But as Denise often says, we like cheap.
Yeah, but we hate Dolly Style. I really like cheap, yeah. Oh, but this is way too cheap. I mean, come on. It's like with the hair, and I really like cheap outfits too, with sparks and I don't know what, but I really hate Dolly Style, sorry. I hated them last year, this year, they are even worse. I can't take this serious. No, it's not even like a joke. Some jokes are really good, but no, I don't even want to talk about Dolly Style. This is like the worst song of Melodifestivalen this year for me. And I know a lot of people hate me because of that, and some people might want to kill me because of that, Porrick. But you can hear it, I hate it.
I thought you were so nice before this video, Porrick.
I'm on a roller coaster. I'm singing Hello Hi. Like, Dolly Style were robbed last year. Dolly Style should have been in last year's final, but they weren't. I think this year they can. And see, the thing is, they're Dolly Style, but their song was actually originally intended for Jem. I read it, remember, from 2014. Oh. So, like, it's a quality song, and people are just writing it off because Dolly Style happened to be singing it. Maybe Jem might have done a better job. I don't know. We'll never know, because Dolly Style is singing it now. But they bring some fun, because that was really missing, because maybe Linda Bengtzing was trying to give us fun, but her fun came across as very dated. Dolly Style, their fun was modern and updated. And maybe they're a bit childish, but we all still have a little inner child deep down inside us, Denise.
Deep down?
Yes. Yours might be deeper than others.
Oh dear. And you got to remember, there are a lot of preteens in Sweden. Sweden is all about the family. They are reproducing. So there are young people who are voting. And I think this will do well. I think that in Andra Chansen, this will most likely go through. It depends on the pairings. I mean, they had the unfortunate situation where they were paired against Dina Na last time. And Dina Na had a great song. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. The other act going to Andra Chansen is Panetoz. Okay, this is fun. It's imperfect. They look a little lost. The token white guy doesn't know what he's doing. It will finish last. If it makes it to the final, it'll probably finish last, assuming it gets out of second chance. But I really like them. They were the only artists to leave the stage, go all over the place, to the island and the audience, to the runway. They interacted. They're showmen, and maybe not the best vocalist, but this is catchy and tropical, and I like it.
I totally agree. I can't believe that, Porrick, you were saying that the fun was missing, and only Dolly Style, maybe Linda, was giving it, because they were giving me such a happy feeling, and there was so much fun, and they really love being on stage. And I don't know what they sing, I don't care about what they are singing. I mean, it's so funny, and so this is funny in a good way, and so happy, and I'm so enthusiastic about it. And the song gets stuck in your head even though you don't know what it's about. It's just so much fun. Yeah.
I'm not sure whether they were unlucky tonight or just super lucky in 2014, because I think this year's entry is actually stronger than the one they entered with in 2014. But this year is a weaker year than 2014, and I don't know why they're not direct to the final. I probably would have put them in ahead of Frans. They are more fun than he is, definitely. They're not my cup of tea, but I'm surprised nearly that they didn't get through, because they obviously have some sort of reputation that they went direct to final last time. But like you've said, they're all over the place. They're not going to win. They're going to give us some fun. They're going to be like Dina Na or whoever. There's always like a token act that you play for months after, but they do awful in the final. And I think they're that act if they do get to the final.
Sweden's Melodifestivalen Klubben did an audience poll after the dress rehearsal last night, and Frans won by a huge margin. I think he got 250 votes. And then Molly Sandén, Panetoz, and Dolly Style were all really close, within like 15 or 20 votes of each other, but they were hundreds of votes behind Frans. So I think that Porg is onto something, that it could have gone either way. I mean, in terms of visual presentation on the television, though, Molly Sandén, they gave her more money. They gave the producers, not rigging it, but were really working to push her through. So it's almost like Panetoz got screwed in that sense, because they didn't fill the space as much, because they had no props, it just wasn't as expensive, basically. In any event, we should talk about the 3 acts that were eliminated, the first of which is Eclipse, who accused all of the other acts today of thinking the same way, which is ironic given that they seem to think like every other rock band that sung at Melfest, because we've seen this a million times. They were good though, vocally on point, but the staging was so predictable. I'm glad this got kicked out of the contest.
I said it in other videos. Normally I don't like rock songs, and yeah, I didn't really like this one too. I mean, it's not really bad or something, but I'm not feeling it. It's just an average thing that's, yeah, like you said, I'm really glad that it's out. Yeah.
I saw your tweet saying that they were accusing all the other acts of thinking the same way, and my immediate thought was, like, are all the acts thinking they should run away from Runaway? Because the song, it was obviously a token rock entry that Krista Bjorkman had set out all the acts for Melfest 2016, and he suddenly realised there's no rock act, and Melfest always needs a rock act. And he was like, okay, who's the least bad of all the rock acts that applied? Okay, it's Eclipse. Hello, Eclipse. There's a slot in semi-final 4. Up you go.
And the phone is now off, so we move on to, what is it, 6th place? This is Martin Stenmarck. This was boring. This was bad cruise ship. I didn't like the camera effects where it got blurry. I thought I was gonna have a seizure. It was dizzying. No.
It is so forgettable, and Swedish lyrics can be really good in a good song, but this time, no, it was really boring. And I know his last song, it was like 2 years ago, I think. I really like that one, so he can do it, but this time he had no chance.
Well, obviously he can do it. He's won the whole thing. He won it back in like 2005 or 2006, whatever year Las Vegas was. But yeah, there's no hope for him. And it's surprising that he did so low, because usually there's a certain amount of goodwill. But he had such a bad song that no good amount of goodwill. Like, the heart was practically black throughout. And he's very lucky that he didn't come 7th.
Yeah, great voice on him. In last place, it was Schlager queen Linda Bengtzing, who clearly brought the least successful Schlager entry of the season. This just was not good. I mean, she shaved her head, she has natural swagger and energy, and she's very likable, but the song just, it's beneath her. Like, her Schlager is usually much better than this. Like, what was the one, Edda Palfamig, 2011, fantastic. Alla Flickor, you know that one, amazing. Yeah, this just left me empty.
Yeah, I feel like it's getting worse. I mean, she was really good, and yeah, that 2011 song with a yellow dress. Oh, I love it. That was good,
So good.
Swedish Schlager. I mean, it was amazing. But the last time it wasn't that good, and this time, no, this. It's such a shame because she can do so much better. Yeah.
Remember, was it 2 weeks ago, Charlotte Pirelli did her little skit on all the things that Schlager could be, and she mentioned all the stereotypes.
Yeah.
And it's as if Linda had her notebook was out, and she was like, that would be great for my stage show. I'll put that into my stage show. And she came out, and it was nearly as if she was making a satire, except she was being deadly serious. And it was atrocious. And even, I'm not sure whether it was Gina or Sarah Dawn Finer, but they compared it to G.I. Jane, and that's what she was, G.I. Jane doing Schlager, and it just flopped.
She needed hair and a wind machine, but when you shave your head, how are you going to be a Schlager queen? Well, that's what we think. What do you think of the fourth semi-final of Melodifestivalen 2016? You can let us know here on wiwibloggs.
Subscribe.
And make sure to hit the like button.
Yay!
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
I don't know the lyrics, but I can still. How do you say it?
Remember it?
Yeah,
Hum.
like the humble.
Are you chewing on something?
How do you say this?
Hum.
Yeah. I think that's it. When you're not singing it, but you're like,
Yes, you're
yeah, that. Oh, sorry.